Six.
Video games.
No. That's not supposed to be our intro, damn it.
That's a wrap. I'm off. Just throwing a fucking YouTube video about a horse and we're done.
Dubstep intro, go. Welcome to the Retro Game Podcast. We have an Irish guy living in Scotland. We have a guy from Canada, and we got a guy from the United States.
I hate that guy.
The entire world is a part of this podcast. This is the United Podcast of Damn Lag.
Bringing nations together. And
With the damn leg UN.
All right, so what retro game have you been playing, Wilbo?
I was playing Cartridge 2 on my Odyssey.
Oh man, that shit's so fresh. Oh,
Played the cat and mouse game. Played some fucking roulette and some tennis. Fucking shit was tight.
damn, son, damn. I've been playing Pong. That shit's as retro as it fucking gets.
Fucking casuals.
Oh, what you been fucking playing, bitch?
Custer's Revenge.
Man, that's retro. We're talking retro-er, alright?
Oh, Space Invaders.
Shit, son.
I can dig it, son.
Shit, son.
Shit.
Shit. So yeah, that's all for the Retro Game Podcast. Now it's time for Lagged Out.
Oh, it's so shit.
So yes.
As the host, you should move on.
Okay, I'm the only one that can move the conversation. So what's everybody been playing?
I'll let you go first, Jared.
Okay, I've been playing through Assassin's Creed Revelations.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Is it good?
It's alright. As far as the game goes, it's pretty much just Brotherhood again. In a different city. All that's really different is you got like a hook blade, so you can kind of go down zip lines and stuff. And there's also the bombs, which you don't really ever have to use. And I got through most of the game without ever needing to or wanting to. So as a game, it is pretty much just Brotherhood again, which isn't. I mean, if I had to pay for it, I would be a little pissed, but I just kind of rented it, so that's not that big a deal. But yeah, if you just want to play Brotherhood again with a new storyline, then that's the game for you. Oh, also there's no like twists or anything. Most of it is spent just kind of filling out the story for Ezio and Altair.
Yeah, I haven't played them since 2. I still haven't played Brotherhood and whatnot. So
I played 2 for like 10 minutes and I got bored and stopped.
You have to play through the end of 2 because the end is amazing.
I know, we already went over this.
oh
I
yeah.
know, but you have to experience it for yourself.
I'll play it when I move. It's like, I think my friends got it, I'll just play it. And they'll be all like, hey Pope, I punch you.
But, I mean, they are releasing another game this year, and
Another Ass Creed game?
yeah, they have to. Kind of. Because the way that the story goes is the whole point of it is to stop the end of the world in 2012. So, being as it's 2012, it'd be kind of stupid releasing it in 2013.
I see.
Which also means, though, that they kind of have to do the future thing now. Like, they can't just go back in the past anymore.
Sure they can.
Well, they have to at least have some... And also, there's, like, nothing left. You see the end of Altair. He dies.
Thanks.
So,
Thanks for that spoiler there, asshole.
not really a spoiler, considering they're going to die. It's kind of... they're dead when the game starts. Because they're in the past.
You use that spoiler for like any game ever.
I didn't know that I was going to see him die. Now I'm going to be playing the whole game expecting him to die.
He's like playing it like any second now.
Because, I mean, that's like saying, oh, well, Altair dies after Assassin's Creed 1 because, it takes place in the past, so obviously he's going to die at some point. He's not going to live forever. Well, obviously, but I don't want to fucking see, like, I spent the whole game playing as die. Or at least it would be surprising to see that happen, but I wouldn't be expecting it. But now I am. Thank you.
It's not nearly as cool as. Anyway, it's not a big deal. If you see it, you'll know it's not a big deal.
Okay, I guess I'll take your word.
All I'm saying is that it goes to the end of both of their stories. There's nothing left to actually tell about them, unless they do some prequel stuff, which I think they save for the PSP games anyway. So at this point, unless they're going to create another character in the past, or have... Either way, at some point, Desmond has to do stuff in the future that actually matters.
They've been talking about, they've been talking about where they're going to set the next game. Like, Ubisoft has been talking about it, so...
And, I mean, they're not calling it any, like, subtitle. They're calling it Assassin's Creed 3.
Well, it's about damn time. They're starting to they were starting to go the Kingdom Hearts path and make like a bunch of games after 2 and not actually make the third one.
Assassin's Creed 24 and a 5th on its birthday. But yeah, it's kind of like it's a cliffhanger basically. The game itself you can kind of just look up online, but then what it has at the end makes the next game interesting.
I see.
Also, I beat Saints Row the Third, so now I'm just going through the side missions, and those are the worst part of the game.
The side missions are the worst part of a game that's kind of like Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah, because the game is all that, like, open world glitchiness is kind of fun in the main game, but when you have to actually rely on your AI buddies and they just won't get in the goddamn car, then that becomes a problem. Plus, I don't know if you ever noticed this, but the more that you play open world games, at least some of them, the more glitchy they seem to get.
Yep.
So at this point, like, I'm driving down the road and cars are just, like, sticking out of the ground. Like, sometimes if I try and go off a ramp, my car will go through the ramp and just stick there.
I went like that when I was playing Skyrim, and I was like walking across this mountain, and then I just saw this goat butt coming at the floor, and I was like, "What the fuck?" There's a goat ass right there. What's it
For
doing?
some reason, the Genki missions right now, if I try to play them, like, the entire screen is covered by some blank texture. I can't see anything except on the sides. I don't even know how I'm going to beat those.
That sounds pretty bad, actually. How the fuck did they just let the game go out like that?
I assume they never expected anyone to do all of the side missions after they beat the game.
Clearly. What else have you been playing? Anything else?
Dance Central 2.
You've been playing Dance Central 2?
Yeah.
My hero.
Why have you not been streaming this?
Because I don't have a camera.
What?
No excuses. Stream with your willpower.
Just will it and it shall be streamed.
Just do my own play-by-play into recording, and then just send it out as its own little podcast.
Well, I didn't mean like a podcast. I mean like
live stream.
Like, yeah, live stream. And show it online or something.
I don't have anything. I have no machine that makes the pictures go through the internet box to other people, Genki.
Well, there's your problem.
Yes, well. So, you've been playing Dance Central 2.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been enjoying it?
Yeah. It's if you look at, say, the sequel from Guitar Hero 1 to Guitar Hero 2, it's pretty much that. All those changes are pretty much exactly what you expect and nothing really more, but there were changes that needed to be made and they make the game better. So they're not exactly... It's not a mind-blowing game, but it is the only game you would ever want to have a Connect 4, and it's a good sequel. You're not going to be unhappy about it if you buy it.
Let's see. Well, I'll continue to not play Connect games.
That's very easy to do.
Yes.
One
I'd
thing I
just
will
like
say
Kinect
though
games.
is the new dashboard for how much it sucks for everything else actually makes the Kinect kind of neat because you can literally just say Xbox Play Game or Xbox Marketplace.
But you could do that already.
No, you couldn't.
Yeah, you could.
No, you couldn't. It
Yeah,
had
you.
one little menu, and it didn't have access to any of the other stuff. It only had like a few different options that you could talk about, and it didn't even use voice recognition. It was all just the hands.
I thought, but they advertised it like, oh yes, voice recognition. You can do everything. Xbox, suck my dick. Weep.
Weep.
No, doesn't do that. One weird thing though is you can open and close the disc tray with the voice commands as
Wow.
long as there isn't a game already in it.
It's a bit hilarious. Like
For some
someone's
reason,
playing a
if
game,
there's
you just walk past and go, open tray. Oh.
Yeah, if there isn't a game in there already, you can't open it. Or, I'm sorry, if there is a game in there, you can't open or close it. It only does it if it doesn't see a game in there, which is just weird.
So pointless though, 'cause I mean, if you were going to open the tray to put a game in, you just have to go over to it anyway. It's like, no, I can open
About
it
as
before I
pointless
get to
as
it.
having the option in the menu on the main screen for a controller to open it up.
Really, it's pointless.
But
Just
it's neat. You're only going to use it a few times, but it is neat to just be like Xbox, open tray, and then whoop, thumbs up.
That'd probably be the most fun I'd have out of it. Open tray, close tray, open tray, close tray. This is fun.
People who have those cars so they like automatically open the doors before they get near it. It's like, what's the point? You're gonna go over and get in the fucking car anyway. You wouldn't get out of your car before you arrived, would you?
You can actually like kind of queue commands though, so it is a little bit faster than just using the controller.
Should be able to say like custom voice commands, like
Also with Dance Central, everything is voice commands. You can just turn on the game and go like, just what's it called? I don't remember the words, but you can just say like,
and then like
quick dance, play song. This is how we do it, and then dance.
Nah, I want to be able to set someone else's 360 to turn off when I say the word faggot. And they don't know, and then it's like I'm just walking past the room and just go, faggot! See who's closest.
There's no command on there for exactly that reason.
Well, that sucks.
My Kinect sucks then, isn't it? Kind of straight up troll people with it.
I saw that video of when Wilbo streamed playing the Kinect. What were you playing where you were like flailing around? Was it the adventure game or the fighting game?
Fighters Uncaged. That game was tiring as fuck, goddamn. It's like, this game seems fun and interesting. 2 fights later, I'm having a stroke! Oh shit! Call an ambulance. Pretty much the story of my life right there.
So what have you been playing, Wilbo?
Dead Rising 2 off the record. Yeah. I did.
So Dead Rising 2.5.
Oh.
I finally finished doing that. Took forever, but feels good, man.
Doing what?
I just linked it in the Skype call. You faggot.
Oh.
So once you turned off.
Okay, so the people that are listening to the podcast will not.
You put the picture in the video version, but like I'm gonna say, I finished my Proto Man outfit for Frank. It takes forever to get the bodysuit. Like, you get the Proto Shield and the Buster by beating the game and getting an S rank. Every time you go back to the safe room, one will appear, and it's got like 50 ammo. And then when you like hold left trigger, he like holds the shield up and looks through the visor, and then you can just shoot zombies.
Nice.
You find the boots in one part of the mall, and they make the shots from the Mega Buster explosive. Well, the Proto Buster, sorry. You have to win the helmet in a strip poker game, the way you had to like win King Arthur's helmet in Dead Rising 2. And then to get the bodysuit, you have to get at least bronze in every mission in sandbox mode. And there's like 60 missions it takes forever to unlock them all. Like, I had to kill over 10,000 zombies. But
What
then
do you have to do to make Capcom make a new Mega Man game?
It's just there's so many like moments. Like if you wear the whole outfit and then like, I play for the story again, just so I can watch all the cutscenes where Frank's dressed up like Proto Man. And there's like one of the moments where like these guys like get ready to beat up Frank West because he's like snuck backstage. And then he's dressed as Proto Man. He turns around and goes, "Oh, hey, fanboys! No time for autographs." It's like, this is hilarious because Proto Man. And then
you can watch all of Saints Row 3's cinematics as a giant floating toilet.
It's also awesome.
Yep.
But when you also wear the whole Proto Man set, when you do the forward dodge roll instead of dodge roll, he does the slide tackle that Proto Man has. It's like, yeah. And then the weapon just like rapes everything. Like, you fight a psychopath, like, okay, I kill you. And then right now I'm going for the achievement where at the start of the game you go to the pharmacy to get Zombrex. There's this chick behind the counter that you save. She's called Denise. And then if you're meant to take her back to the safe room, but if you don't take her back to the safe room and keep her alive and then keep doing case missions and do like all 72 hours like of all case missions and keep her alive, then when the army captain shows up to help like with a certain part of the game, he goes insane. You have to fight him. You have to get her to hit that guy. It's like you just have to keep her alive for like 6 hours real time and stuff. It's gonna be so hilarious. Me and her were gonna be like bros forever. I'm gonna get her a machine gun because the AI have like infinite ammo or infinite durability on whatever you give them. So if I could give her the proto shield and the buster, I would, but I'm not allowed to. Oh. But yeah, Dead Rising. It's got so much stuff. I was doing sandbox mode, and there's one challenge where you have to like, you get 3 minutes, and you have to go gather as many dildos as you can and bring them back to this one spot. And there's dildos everywhere, like there's like behind the bars, zombies have dildos. They're like, oh shit, so many dildos, and you gotta go get them all. And then while I was doing it, this like guy who was like, all he had was a towel around his waist, and his name was Chris, and he was chasing me and he was like beating me with this dildo, and I almost died. He was so strong, I was like, dildo, quit hitting me.
I didn't realize that Saints Row and Dead Rising had so much in common.
Yep, see? Saints Row's not the only game with a dildo weapon. Suck it.
You can also,
Saints Row is way bigger though.
one of the combo weapons in Off the Record is you combine a leaf blower with a dildo, and it's just a leaf blower that shoots moist dildos at zombies. And they call it the massage launcher, and it's a massager instead of a dildo, but it's like, it's a dildo, come on. You would look at that and be like, that's a massager. You look at that and be like, that goes up the vaginas.
Well, in your case, it goes up my butt.
Oh! And then I was looking at the DLC, like costumes that you can buy. Like one of them's barbecue chef, and there's got like so many effects. Like barbecue food gives you double health and stuff. And then one of the effects of the costume is if you wear the whole costume and you have mustard or ketchup on you, it will set zombies on fire. And it's like, what? That makes no sense. Like, oh, there's a zombie, spicy mustard combusts. And then the other set I got was the cyborg set, where like Franklin's like a destroyed Terminator and he's like electric fists. It's awesome. Yeah, Dead Rising 2 Off the Record kicks ass. It still makes me annoyed though that I bought Dead Rising 2 at like full price, and then this game's so much better and has so much more content and so much more Frank West. But the game also has its like share of bad puns as well. Like whenever you beat a boss fight, you're waiting for the bad pun. You know it's coming. Like beat this chick, and then something like falls on her and like just like kills her, and then Frank just stands up and goes like, "I always knew you had a crush on me. Too bad I don't date flat chicks." And I was like, "Oh!" Like some guy falls on a buzzsaw. It's like, "You're half the man I am." Oh.
Wait, that was in the first game, or that was in Dead Rising 2?
Oh yeah, that was the Saw one. Oh yeah, it was. And Chuck says, "You're half the man I am." Frank says, "I guess you never saw that coming." You're just waiting for them, like, it's going to happen any second now. Oh, wait, so good. And then, like, the storylines changed as well. So, like, I was playing through it, and it's like, I knew who the villain was from 2, and I was like, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. And then it's like, he wasn't a villain. I was like, oh my god! But yeah, I love it. The game's got so much content, you can get it for, like, so cheap. So if you haven't played either, I say, buy it. I'll get the co-op and stuff, so yeah.
What else have you been playing?
I don't know, like I was playing anything else. Oh, I was playing Windjammers.
Yeah, Windjammers!
Windjammers!
Yeah, Wilbo and I have been playing Windjammers on GGPO. We just discovered it, and it was like, we were just going through the library of games. It was like, oh, let's try this Windjammers. and it ends up being one of the most amazing arcade games ever. It's it's like a frisbee
tennis sort of hybrid.
frisbee tennis kind of, yeah.
I didn't expect the word frisbee.
Frisbee tennis soccer in the future, and everybody's got like super frisbee powers.
Yeah, there's like special abilities and stuff. But basically, you're throwing this frisbee. It's kind of like Pong. I think that's a good visualization for it. It's like Pong, except with super moves, and it moves a lot faster.
And like
Because you can you can throw the frisbee and bounce it off of the walls, and the point is to get it past the other person and into their goal. And different parts of the goal are different points, like either 3 points or 5 points, depending on the area, and also depending on the map. Because like everything changes on each stadium that you play on.
Different stadiums, but like one of them's like only a couple of them are good. The rest are like retarded broken. Like one of the ones has got like barriers in the middle that they can hit the frisbee off, and one of the ones like your goal has 2 5-points and a 3-point instead of like a 3-point and 2 5 and like not 2 threes and a 5, and then we just play in the big open one that's got like the fair goal and nothing in the way, and we just have some intense frisbee showdowns. There's like 6 playable characters, like they all vary in speed and strength. Like the slower ones are stronger, and they've all got like different special moves. Or like you could do like a lob shot with the frisbee, and then if they stand below it, they could charge up a special move. And then there's so many like crazy ones. Like the Korean guy can like have his frisbee grind off the wall really fast. The German guy that Genki uses, he can like make his frisbee controllable. So like you can just try maneuver it around you, or like try fake you out and stuff. And then there's like the Italian guy I play as makes like a big spiral fireball shot. And it just makes for such intense games, and it's so good.
It is. It's really fun. And then like we've gotten so good that our volleys just go so fast, and it's like you get 30 seconds every or the set. Yeah, the set is like 30 seconds. And so we'll end up spending 18 seconds just trying to get one goal. It's so intense. It's so much fun.
Each set lasts for 30 seconds, and it's first to 2 sets. And if you score 12 points or more, then you auto win that set. And then if like you both get like a tie score, you both win a set. And then if you've both won a set and you do like a tie game, then it goes into sudden death. And it's like, oh shit! Shit just gets so intense, and it's just like, it's so good. Go get GGPO, it's free. Everybody go now. All 40 people.
Go and play Windjammers.
Windjammers?
On GGPO.
Yeah. And besides that, I haven't really been playing anything else because I'm getting ready to move soon. Obviously. I'm playing a bunch of Tetris Splash again, refining my skills. just trying to see how fast I can beat marathon mode. I'm getting faster.
You will never defeat me.
I will defeat you.
Never.
Blocks.
Tetris.
Single, double, triple.
That voice is so creepy, and yet I'm so used to it.
There's just music playing when we play. But then every time I get a Tetris, I can just, in my head, I just hear Tetris. Like, god damn it. I'm controlling my brain.
I've been playing, I just finished Catherine. That was really good.
Again, Catherine, still out of here. I want it. I got the demo of the American PSN like months ago, and it's like, holy shit, I love puzzle games. This game's awesome. I want this. Now it's like
a puzzle.
January 2012. I still don't have it. I want it.
It's a puzzle game with a really interesting story. Like, there have been a couple other puzzle games that has story in them, but this is like the first kind of puzzle game that I've ever seen that its story drives the game, but it's still fun to play.
Do you think it could have worked if it wasn't a block pushing game?
Well, I mean, what would it have been then?
I don't know. Maybe just
block pushing is the gameplay. I mean, without it, there's nothing. There's really nothing. I mean, there's a story, and you're going around. You can go to a bar, and you can drink, and you can talk with people that you can. And talking with people can save them when they're in the dream world. It's like your actions do affect like the ending of the game. But if the block pushing puzzles weren't there, then the game would have no substance. And the block pushing is really fun. Like the puzzles are great. They're hard. They get pretty hard, but after you learn some techniques, because like as you talk to other characters, they'll tell you new techniques and things that you can do. And so you'll be like, "Oh man, I didn't even think about that." And certain puzzles will get a lot easier that weren't easy before, and it's a really great game. And I went the path for the blonde Catherine, and I regret nothing.
But the other one has glasses and is voiced by Wendy Lee, all my owners.
I mean, from what I've seen, none of them are very, like, anyone you would actually want. They're both very flawed, horrible people. There's the naggy one that is constantly just bringing you down, and then there's the crazy one that's trying to kill you.
Well, see, here's the thing. You can choose neither of them. If you don't want to go for either of them, you can just, like, push them both away and get a different ending for that. So, like, I think there are 8 endings that you can get, or 8 or 9 endings. And so I kind of want to... I did look up the other endings after I finished the game, but I kind of still want to play it again just to try and get, like, a different ending. Just because it's a fun game. It's really fun. I don't know if putting it on hard or easy... I played it on normal. I don't know if putting it on one of the other difficulties changes the puzzles, or if it just makes the time limit shorter. Like, you have to climb up this wall and pull out the blocks and move them around and climb up the wall as everything is falling down beneath you. So I don't know if putting it in hard mode makes everything fall faster, but it's the same puzzle, or what. Because after I finished it, I still wanted more puzzles. And there are some more puzzles, because there's an arcade game you can play in the bar called Rapunzel, and it's the more of the block pushing, but the rules are different. Like, every round you get so many moves that you can do before you run out.
I think kind of like Catherine was one of those games that suffered because of the game journalist community really sucking at video games. Cause,
what do you mean? I don't
well,
think
a lot of them complained about the difficulty when, I mean, if you ever watch them play, they're just idiots. They can't figure anything out.
Yeah.
Like, it's the most frustrating thing in the world, waiting for them to figure out how the edge thing works.
Yeah. Yeah, as soon as I started to get a grasp of that, like from the tutorials, it was like, oh, edge, and like, after I figured that, I was like, oh shit, I get it now, and it just, yeah, I don't think it did badly though. It did a lot better than Atlas expected, so I think it was a success for them.
Yeah, it was a success for them, but a success for them is a failure for most companies.
I guess.
I hate stupid people. It's like, I'm bad at this game. This game sucks. Like, what? No, it doesn't.
Plus,
like,
the marketing that they did
about
for it kind of shot them in the foot, because they marketed it as like cheesecake, just stupid
Well, I mean,
porn. When
well, that's in there, but I don't think they really advertised it as that.
it's a lot more adult than that marketing gave it credit for. When they were marketing and it was in Japan and no one knew what anything said, everything just looked like,
No, it didn't. They didn't advertise it like it was all cheesecake. They advertised it as a horror suspense story, and that's what it is. It's a horror suspense story, and it's a mystery and everything, and it's about relationships, and it's really, and I think they conveyed that in the trailers. I mean, yeah, they hyped up, Catherine herself, the blonde Catherine, and showed pictures of her and
well,
stuff
I mean,
like that.
they might have hyped that up in the English ones, but in
No,
the
they hyped that
Japanese
out.
one, they didn't. It was all just, there was people dying, and then there were boobs.
Yeah, that's because you couldn't understand what they were saying.
Right.
But
And
the
by
trailers
the time
they
got to
showed
the
in Japan.
trailers that anyone could understand, everyone else had written it off.
No, the trailers that they showed in Japan were the exact same trailers that they showed in America. They just dubbed everything. They showed the exact same trailers.
But they weren't in English. That's the thing.
I think the problem was that they didn't show gameplay. They just showed the cutscene. So nobody knew what the game was about. That's what the problem was. It looked like a dating sim or something, and you didn't know what the game was about, regardless of if you could understand what they were saying or not. They should have shown more gameplay so that you can understand, okay, it's a puzzle game, but they didn't do that, because I didn't even know what the game was about until I finally got to play the Japanese demo. was like, oh, I push blocks around? Okay. So even I didn't know. It just that was the problem. It wasn't like, oh, it's boobs and everything. It's just they didn't show any gameplay. But it still did pretty well, and for them they felt it was a success, which is good in my book, and it's a great game. And I think everybody should go and play it.
I
Oh,
hope
I'd
it
love to
funds
play it.
Persona 4.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, wait a minute. You gotta wait until next
I think
month.
the main problem with the game is that it's not fucking out here yet.
Let's see what else. Well, I've been doing this little project for the last couple weeks. I wanted to get a new PSP that I could, so that I could hook it up to my TV or stream my PSP games and stuff like that. So I found a broken PSP 2000 with a Darth Vader edition on eBay. Ordered it, and it was like, they said the only problem with it was like that it wouldn't one of the buttons would stick, like the left button stuck, and so I needed to replace that. So I got the PSP. I opened it up and took a look at everything, and then last week I finally got my replacement D-pad ribbon. I got it for like $4, and I replaced it, but the new ribbon that I got didn't work. Like, the two of the buttons didn't work. The up and the right worked, but the left and the down didn't work at all. So, and I tried the old one again. I was like, yeah, it's the problem with the ribbon and not the PSP. So, I had to get another one that I'm still waiting on. And then today, and the other problem that I ended up having with it was that the video out wouldn't work. So I ordered a replacement video output thing, since I figured, okay, well, I guess this isn't working either. And I just got that today. So this morning I was trying to switch it out. And after struggling with it, because there was this one clip that I could not get open, and it was one of the clips for the UMD drive, and I ended up stripping it a little bit, and so now the UMD drive doesn't work. But I mean, I don't really care as much about that, because I can play stuff digitally on the memory card and everything. But I finally got the new video output installed, and I tested it out, and it still doesn't fucking work. So at this point, I'm just gonna call this thing a big, massive failure, waste of money, because
Just like the Vita. Oh.
damn. And I spent how much did I fucking spend on this thing? I think overall I ended up spending a little over $60, because the PSP itself was $40 with shipping, or like $45 with shipping, and then the parts I got were like $5 each, and then when I got the PSP, the front was just fucked up. Like, there were dents and scratches on the screen, and I was like, okay, I just need a new shelf for this. And so I ordered a new shelf for like $12. That's gonna take forever to get here, and I might as well see if I can cancel it now. But yeah, I think it came out to around $60 for a fucking paperweight. I mean, it still works, and after I get the D-pad, the replacement D-pad, hopefully the D-pad will start working, but I can't use it for the main reason I bought it at all. So I'm probably just gonna try and sell it and just mark it as, oh, the UMD drive doesn't work, but everything else works, and it's hacked, so give me money.
What were you planning on actually streaming with it?
Yeah, that was the other question I had for myself. I was like, oh, what can I fucking stream on this thing that I haven't played and beaten?
Do a Luminous Let's Play?
Luminous?
Like Luminous? That game.
Oh, Luminous. Like,
because that's so different.
yeah, you said Luminous, and it sounds like, lighting something up. or something that glows.
But to just have no idea what I was talking about.
Yeah, because it sounded like you were saying a different word. Luminesce with an E, not luminous with an O-U-S. Your
Okay.
pronunciation means everything. Point is, the PSP experiment failed, and I'm stuck with it until I can fucking get rid of it.
Just like the Vita.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, the Vita seems to be doing pretty bad in Japan. Shit, I forgot about that. Like the sales doing worse and worse than even the PSP, and that's pretty bad.
Well, PSP did pretty good once Monster Hunter came out.
Yeah, well the DS, the 3DS got Monster Hunter, so yeah. Vita's got well, I wouldn't say it's got nothing, but it certainly doesn't have anything that's a flagship title.
Well, certainly not for Japan, at least. I mean, how well does Uncharted do over there?
I think it did pretty well. I'm sure it did fine, but I mean, even here, I can't see it selling very well, regardless of if it has an Uncharted game or not. But yeah, I don't know. I was interested in the Vita, but as more and more details came out, the less and less I was interested in it. Like the whole 3G system for it is just it's stupid, and it just looks like they're really struggling to compete with phones, and they're just not going to succeed. I mean, they've got money. It's like it just like the 3DS. The 3DS came out and it sucked balls, and then it slowly got better, and then they dropped the price and threw Mario on it, and then it did so much better. So
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Sony doesn't have the Pokemon and the Mario and everything that they can just save it with.
that's
They don't have anything like that to count on.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do, but they kind of came back with the PS3, so they can probably come back with the Vita. Because like I guess the PS3, all they did was change the marketing, and bam.
Well, also they had a lot of more. Uh, their studios came through. They had a lot of exclusives
Did they?
for a while. I mean, they lost a lot of them, but more recently, like Uncharted was a huge thing for them. Twisted Metal is coming out. Metal Gear Solid 4, of course, was their first big exclusive. I always get the impression that at least after Metal Gear Solid 2, the importance of Metal Gear Solid as an actual game for your system was kind of vastly overestimated. Because Metal Gear Solid 3, Metal Gear Solid 4, they didn't sell as much as people make them sound like they sell.
But they were popular enough that I think they sold well.
They sold well, but not like they've never been like a Call of Duty or a Halo or anything like that.
Yeah, I guess so.
So what did I miss?
Where did you go?
Oh, my dad couldn't fucking get his DVD to work properly.
Oh, yeah, because your Xbox is shit.
No, it's on his laptop. Because our satellite dish, something fucking happened to it, and now we can't get any TVs. My dad's like bored out of his mind. He's been borrowing like DVDs from his friend, and couldn't get it to work properly there, so I had to go fucking fix it. So I'm apparently a super tech genius because I use a computer.
Yes, you are. We all are. We are the new generation of tech support for our parents.
I don't want to be this. Make it stop.
We were talking about exclusives for the PS3 or the lack thereof, and I really can't think of many other exclusives for the PS3 that weren't Sony games. Like Infamous. There's Little Big Planet and
Resistance.
Resistance games, but
Killzone.
Insomniac's about to go multiplat, so
Yeah.
Hudson is dead. No, Bomberman.
I don't think that Bomberman's gonna vanish forever. Bomberman is too popular of a IP to just.
Nobody nowadays knows what Bomberman is, probably from like us. Everybody's all like, "What's my shooting games?" Like, fuck you, Bomberman's much better. Scrub.
It's still, I mean, more people will know it than a new IP, so.
Yeah, so someone's gonna buy the IP or something. I'm more disappointed that I'm not gonna get that new Bonk game that they were working on. I'm really pissed because I was ready.
They're making a new Bonk game?
Yeah, they were, and then they fucking shut down, and now we'll never get it.
I want another Glover.
What was that trailer for, like, that game, I think it was a Genesis game, where you were like the guy, and then you could turn into a monkey and you could shoot bullets out your mouth?
Yes.
Yeah, you know that.
I actually looked that game up recently because I was sending out applications to people, and I looked up that place because I was like, oh, I wonder if they could, use me on their team. Cause
I saw a trailer like ages ago. They were making like a HD sort of version of that, and I was like, "Oh man, that looks awesome!" But that was like ages ago.
They're still apparently working on it because I emailed the guy last year, in the fall, I think, and I got an email back saying, "Yeah, they're still working on it, but they're over in like France, and I guess they're a really small group."
What's the game called again? Is it Toki?
I think so. Toki.
I haven't played it in like.
Yeah, and I have it in my bookmarks. So.
I could never beat it as a kid. I need to play that game again. That game was awesome though. It gets pretty hard later on.
Yeah, Toki, and it's being done by Golgoth Studio.
And then you're like shooting bullets at your mouth. It's like, holy shit, pair of sneakers! Look how fast I am.
Oh man, I'm just looking at their website now, and their last post about Toki was back in June 4th, 2011. The post is, "Where's Toki? Hey, but where is Toki? We've announced recently that we get back the XBLA and PC publishing rights from Ignition Entertainment, so what the next? Next is we plan to release Toki firstly on Steam in September and later in the year or early January on all other platforms. End of year is complicated with first party. So conclusion, Toki is not dead and always planned to release this year. By the way, we reworked many things on the games to better match with the old version. Wait and see." Yeah, that's.
I'm waiting.
That's some
the
broken
English is
French.
as bad in the actual game as it is in that post.
Them French people and their broken English. Yeah, apparently the original was called Juju. Like Juju. Juju. But yeah, I guess it's still in the works, and it definitely did not come out on Steam in September. So I guess they're probably close to finished with it now, and they're just trying to get publishers or get things worked out for publishing it on the other platforms. I don't know, but it looks like it's not dead. So, but yeah, the trailer for it was back in 2009. That's when they first announced it, way back then, and it's just taking them forever.
I know, it's like this trailer, like the whole all of First Stage remix, and it's like it looks amazing. And then
Yes.
it was like 2-3 years ago. It's like, what the fuck? Where is it?
It looks so good, but I think hopefully this will be the year that it comes out.
Because one can hope.
Yeah, I could contact them and ask them about it. I might do that and get an update, and then I'll update you all on the podcast because I'm sure I'm going to show the trailer while we're talking about all this so you can see just how good this game looks.
I bet nobody, like none of our 40 viewers, like know what Toki is. Then I'll be like disappointed in all of you.
But yeah, I'll contact them and we'll see what happens.
I'm sure everyone's really, really excited for that.
Yeah,
I am.
I am. I want to fucking know where that game is. I really want to play it. And you know what else I really wanted to play? Twisted Metal. Until I found out it had an online pass. Fuck that game. I'm not boycotting it, but my purchase was hinging on whether or not I found the online enjoyable. I was gonna rent it from GameFly and play the online multiplayer and see, am I really having enough fun with this that I can warrant a purchase?
Don't they
But
just have trials for those, though?
I don't know if it's gonna have a trial.
Every game that's had an online pass that I've played has one.
Yeah, how long is the trial for?
Usually about 3 days.
3 days?
Yeah.
Well, then maybe I will still rent it. Maybe.
I mean, like, I don't really have a problem with the whole online pass thing. If you want to rent it, there's usually a trial, which will last as long as you would want to rent it. And, I mean, if you buy it used, then they get their $10. Or you buy it new, and you just pay the $10 more. Because, I mean, that's all you generally ever save, unless it's been like a year since the game came out.
I guess, but at the same time, I just really feel like it's taking advantage of the system. It's like, okay, now you gotta pay. You want to get it used? Well, you're gonna have to pay extra to play it online with other people. And the next step is gonna be, oh, you want to finish your game and you bought it used? Well, you're gonna have to buy the last 3 missions. And I think and each time it's just going to be like, well, I can understand them wanting to make their money back, but it's this, and this. Like, no. That's pretty fucked up.
Well, I mean, like, the basic problem is, unlike anything else that you can resell, games generally don't expire. You can keep a game for years, and it will work just as fine. If you buy any other type of product, it will eventually degrade.
Well,
Whereas with games, you can just keep trading them back.
but I mean, the music industry and the movie industry has been doing pretty well, and you can buy those things used as well.
Well, the music industry hasn't, and the movie industry has first-run movies in theaters to make up for that.
Wait, the music industry is doing badly?
Yes.
I don't believe that.
Do you know how much a CD actually sells now? It's like in the thousands, and that's a good one.
In the what?
Yeah, CDs don't sell like 1 million ever anymore.
Oh. Well, that's why they have, like, iTunes and shit.
That's counting iTunes.
Really? Well, then I guess everyone needs to stop making such shit music. I wouldn't blame that on anything but the fucking artists that they're coming out with. And
Don't
more and more
bullshit.
people are just
You-
like, this music is shit. I'm not fucking buying this.
You buy music?
Yeah. Not as often,
Yeah, because you don't have to.
but I haven't, the only music that I have bought has been from, like, independent people on Bandcamp and stuff like that. Like, any other music that's released in the industry, I have not even downloaded for myself because it's all shit. I don't like any of it. So I haven't been buying any music recently because I don't like any of it. It's just so I can totally see the music industry failing because its quality has dropped so much.
I don't believe that. I mean, the music industry has never. You can look back on music and you always just pick out the songs you liked. If you look at any decade, they had shit music, and it was the popular stuff. The easiest way to test this is put in the year that your favorite album came out into the Billboard Top 100 and see what was on there. I guarantee you it is mostly shit you've never heard of.
Maybe. But I guess the more logical thing is that everyone's just downloading it, but as for me, no, I haven't been buying my music because I don't like any of it. If I found something that I really liked, I would buy it. There are a few soundtracks for movies that I've bought because I thought they were really good. And maybe an occasional artist is pretty good. I'm still waiting on like a new Outkast album and shit, but everything else I'm just like not digging it. But yeah, back on that online pass shit.
Yeah.
I think that I still just don't like it, especially when a game hinges on online play. Well, I don't know. I guess it's fine. I mean, it's just something I'm not comfortable with it because I feel like it's going to lead to more exploitation of consumers.
Well, I mean, like stuff like say Origin, that I'd agree that is terrible. It's I mean, it's just that in this particular thing, I don't see a problem with it. I mean, used sales exist. There are a lot of people that buy games used. So if they can make their $10 on it on a used game, and that funds more games, I don't see the problem really. I mean, and a lot of the time it means that if you don't care about the multiplayer, then you just don't pay that $10 and you save $10.
Yeah. I still just don't like it. I don't know how else to put it because I mean it's all logical. It seems fair, you know. It's like, well, if you're getting it used, we still want to make some kind of profit from this, so give us $10 so you can play online with other people. But I get a part of the reason why people buy stuff used is because they want to get it cheaper, because $60 is fucking retarded for a video game price.
And you know how, and what that means is that in order for GameStop to be competitive, they will have to start lowering their prices by $10.
Yep.
So the people you should be mad at is GameStop. As you should always be, in every situation.
Fucking GameStop.
Fucking GameStop. What else? What else has been going on? Oh yeah, Resident Evil. There's lots of Resident Evil news. There's the 3DS demo, which is really good. I played the demo and loved it. And yeah, you can walk around and stuff while you shoot, but the game's harder if you don't do that. And I think I'm just gonna not do that because then it feels more like a survival horror game.
And then you hit the part that's hard, and then you just say "fuck this," and
yeah, and then I'll just fucking move around. But yeah, it was cool, and it made me jump a couple times because like shit dropped from the ceiling. It's like, oh fuck!
Are things scarier in 3D?
No. But
I wish I could see 3D.
It looked alright in 3D. Best part of the demo was the fact that every time Jill walks around, the camera pans out just enough so you can see her ass. So that was nice. It has puzzles. There were puzzles. They just had the one it was really easy and brief, but it was just kind of like the game was telling you this game will have puzzles. Like, oh, okay, cool. Because it was like I had to.
If you're a dumbass and you can't do this puzzle, don't play this game.
It was like I at the very beginning you start in this room and you're locked in this room. It's like, okay, I need to get out. I need to find a key, and you find a key and you go and you unlock this box that has like wires, and you have to move the wires to the positions that are the glowing positions, and then the door will unlock. So, and then that used the touchscreen and stuff. So I was like, okay. And then you kind of wander around this place. I think it's supposed to be on. I think you're supposed to be on a boat, but it looked like some mansion. And there were
boat mansion.
They weren't zombies. They were those weird mutated things, mutated zombie things. But I mean, it was still scary as shit. And it was funny too because my girlfriend was playing, and she's really into Resident Evil. She loves Resident Evil, and then I told her to go and play the demo, and she finally got around to playing. And she's like, "This is really scary. I don't think I'm gonna play this. I don't think I'm gonna be able to play this." I'm like, what? You fucking love Resident Evil, and you were shitting your pants over the Resident Evil 6 trailer, but you couldn't handle the fucking 3DS game. And I told her that she could move around. It's like, why the fuck didn't you tell me? Now maybe I will be able to play this game. I was like, I think she likes Resident Evil as an action game and not as a survival horror game.
She's one of those.
Yeah, she's dead to me. I have no son. And I love how you almost said safari instead of like survival horrors. Like, well, the game pretty much is a safari right now. It's like, oh, look at all these people. I'll just shoot them.
There you get
the spiritual sequel to Pokemon
Go to
Snap.
Africa, kill all the blacks.
Capcom's
Yay!
finally getting its revenge on Nintendo for creating the spiritual sequel to Resident Evil. In Luigi's Mansion.
Luigi's Mansion, yeah.
Yep.
I just wrote an article about how they're similar. I fucking love Luigi's Mansion. I cannot wait for Luigi's Mansion 2. I was just like, and writing this article, this article that I just wrote, it rekindled my love for that game. I really enjoyed that game, and that was like the first game I played on GameCube because that was the launch game I got with my GameCube, and it was fucking great.
Yeah, I think it was the same for me. I had that in Mario Sunshine, and then like unboxing day, I went down and bought Melee, and it's like, holy shit, this game's awesome.
Oh my
I
god!
never played Smash Bros. In N64. Like I never had it,
Oh.
and it was like, Melee looks pretty cool. I get this. It's like, oh my god, this game's amazing. and then I bought like Resident Evil Remix. Like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah, I still need to play the Resident Evil remakes. I have not played the original Resident Evil games. The first one that I really played was 4. I played 4 and I played 5, and I still want to go back and play, the remake of 1 and 0 and the others. But the problem to me has always been what?
So you've never played Resident Evil 2?
No. I've not played. I've tried to play the first. I tried to play the remake of the first, but
Well, I guess that explains probably why you wouldn't be as excited about the new one, because most of the interesting part of that is that it's like Resident Evil 2.
It didn't look like that when I watched the trailer. It looked like it was a straight up action game with like explosions everywhere, and oh, you can duck behind cover now, but they're fucking zombies. Why do I need to duck behind cover? And when you run, the camera shifts out to Gears of War style running. Like, what the fuck is this?
Like, what it is it takes the old Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 1 thing where you have 2 different characters with 2 different campaigns.
Okay.
There's Leon,
Yeah.
which is survival horror,
But there's-
akin to Resident Evil 2 and 1 and 3 and Nemesis. Um,
I'm sorry, but that trailer did not scream survival horror to me. When Leon ran and slid between the legs of a zombie, then shot it from behind. What the fuck does that have to do with survival horror? There were like zombies everywhere too when he was running around. And then Hunk is apparently back, and he karate chops zombies. What the fuck is this shit? Why am I able to go and do fucking martial arts in a zombie's face? The point is supposed to be these are zombies, and you have guns and weapons. You don't want to get near them if you don't have to.
Yeah, that's what Dead Rising's for.
Well,
Like,
here's the
exactly all
basic
this
problem with
stupid
that.
thing.
If you've actually played Resident Evil 1 and 2, you would know that once you realize that because of the way that those games are structured, you can just run around all the zombies, they're not nearly as fun anymore. And now that everyone knows that, they can't make a game like that anymore.
Well, they could just make it so that if you try to run around the zombies, they will get you. Like, if you get close to the zombie, they'll just fucking snatch you up. They don't need to make it so that there are explosions everywhere, you have a shit ton of ammo, and it just doesn't feel like a survival horror game anymore. It looks like it's just an action game with zombies in it. It doesn't even look scary to me. 5 wasn't even scary to me because you had a partner running around with you. You didn't have that isolation. You didn't feel isolated, surrounded by motherfuckers. You had someone else with you the whole time. And now 6 is like, oh yeah, 6-player co-op and 8-player multiplayer. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
Resident Evil, the old Resident Evils weren't scary either. They only had jump scares.
But it's the atmosphere.
The actual
that makes
gameplay
you-
was never scary.
But the atmosphere makes it tense, and that makes the jump scares work.
Not really. The atmosphere was really cheesy. It was like a campy movie. Especially the director's cut of Resident Evil 1, which is all in like FMV.
Shit's hilarious. I love that opening. It's like, look at this shit. What is this?
Plus the voice acting. If you want a game that's like you're describing, you would be playing Silent Hill.
Or Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil 4 wasn't scary. It was an action game too.
No, Resident Evil 4 was not nearly as much of an action game because you were still isolated. You had limited amounts of ammo. It didn't just fall from the sky every time. And then it was intense. It just felt tense. I mean, it was a little bit action-y at points, but it wasn't nearly as over the top and retarded as 5 and this trailer for 6. It still felt like a survival horror game. They just moved the camera.
The basic problem with survival horror games is that in order to make the gameplay into something that's scary, they have to restrict your mobility or your ability to actually defend yourself. If you're empowered, then it's not scary. You can just kill everything. But the problem is games that restrict your movement, those are frustrating. They're not... I mean, the only way that Silent Hill works, despite its gameplay not actually being that fun on its own, is that it builds a sense of dread. It's not the enemies that scare you, it's the lack of enemies. It's hearing your radio going off and you don't know where the enemies are. And that doesn't work in a Resident Evil game, because it's about zombies. It's about a city being overrun. It's not surreal. There's no elevators that suddenly sprout buttons, or lockers that are filled with blood. No, it's a city and there are zombies.
That fucking blood locker biscuit the shit out of me.
I know.
Like you're playing you play like the normal school Genki, and then there's like the evil version of the school. And when you're in this one room in the normal school, like there's this locker. It's banging loads, and like there's something obviously inside it. You're like, oh shit. It's like a shoe locker or something, and you're like, oh shit, and then you get ready to open it, and a cat bursts out, and you're like, oh, you motherfucker. and then the cat goes outside, and then it gets attacked by a monster, and then it's like a monster attacks you when you leave the room, and you're like, oh shit. And then when you go to that room again in the evil version of the school, it's like that locker's banging, and you're like, oh shit, what's going to be this time? And then it stops banging when you go to open it, and you open it, and there's just blood in the locker, and you're like, okay, that's weird. And then when you start walking away from it, something else falls out of another locker, and you're like, oh shit! Scared the crap out of me so
Which
bad.
game is this?
Silent Hill 1.
And Silent Hill?
Silent Hill 1 and 2. You have to play them both. They are amazing. And they're coming out soon in HD.
I guess stuck forever in Silent Hill 2 because I didn't know you could put all your items on that shelf when you had to go down that elevator, and I was like stuck for like 2 hours.
And the puzzles in Silent Hill 2 were just... like, if you actually have them turned up, they're completely illogical. They make no rational sense, but they're not like Resident Evil where you just find a thing, bring it to a place, and it opens the door. You have to actually figure out a puzzle. And it's like the most crazy adventure game logic in the world that doesn't make any sense, but...
The best part of Silent Hill 1 and 2 are the UFO endings.
Yes.
It's like they've got multiple endings, and then in Silent Hill 1, like on your second playthrough, I think it has to be your second playthrough, isn't it? Like there's like
on your second playthrough, there's usually an item somewhere that you find, and then you bring it to a place.
Yeah, and there's like 5 certain locations where you stand in the game, and then you'll see like a UFO in the distance, and then you see like another UFO, and then like you'll see 5, and then at the end of the game, rather than like one of the normal endings, like Harry Mason just gets abducted by aliens, like he goes on their ship, and then you get this you get like the same ending in like Silent Hill 2, you get another UFO ending, except when the UFO shows up, Harry Mason gets off the UFO and he greets the protagonist from Silent Hill 2, and then he gets on, and it's like, oh my god, that's awesome. It's like, that's just the most hilarious, like, alternate endings to, like, games like that.
It's a big loophole for Silent Hill 3.
Yeah, but Silent Hill 3 had, like, the cool unlockable, like, lightsaber weapon that was awesome.
Thing that I always liked about Silent Hill 4 was that it ties into Silent Hill 2 in a lot of really interesting ways.
I hate Silent Hill 4, though. That game was, like, nowhere near as good as the others.
Everybody says that, but I
don't know, I
the
find
story
that
in it.
annoying when
And I like the dynamic. I like the dynamic of your apartment becoming, starting out as the safe place for you, and then it slowly turns into a place you want to avoid.
Like, waste all my amulets, like, trying to fucking get near the fridge so I get my chocolate milkshake. It's like, get the fuck away! The fucking fridge is, like, killing me from being near it. It's retarded.
I guess I do need to play the Silent Hill games, but still, Resident Evil 6, that trailer did not interest me at all in the game, because the series just, it's getting more and more action oriented, and it doesn't, and that's not what I want from it, because I really didn't enjoy 5. I played through it, but it wasn't fun. I didn't feel like I was a part. I didn't feel that isolation I felt in 4.
Well, I think the problem with 5 was that it wasn't as well designed. The enemies weren't as interesting, and a lot of the time it all came down to just shoot whatever's in front of you. Whereas Resident Evil 4
really help either.
Yeah, Resident Evil 4 took a lot more advantage of having to shoot different types of weapons and using the environment, and also just focusing on different parts of zombies, or whatever they're called, Ganados, I think.
Yeah.
No. I just remember shit happening in 4 was like, you make your way to this town, you're all by yourself, and it's like pretty quiet, and then all of a sudden everyone starts coming out and attacking you, and then you run around and you go upstairs in this one house and you find a shotgun, you take the shotgun, and all of a sudden, oh shit, now there's a dude with a fucking chainsaw, oh fuck, and it's just, that was intense. That shit was.
And then you shoot the chickens. Oh yeah.
One of my favorite parts of Resident Evil 2 was, in Resident Evil 2, every time you go through a door, there's like a little loading screen where it's just a black screen, and then there's the door, and then it opens, and that's just kind of the transition. So you just go through that, and at one point in this one door, if you open it, instead of just going into the next scene, zombies start pouring out of the door, and then you're back in the room, and there's zombies coming at you.
I'm more excited for Operation Raccoon City than I am for Resident Evil 6.
I'm not really. I'm interested in that one. I'm not excited for it, but I'm certainly interested in it.
It looks different. It looks like sort of like Left 4 Dead, sort of like Lost Planet style Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Plus it's got some characters from like other games and stuff, and you can like pretty much break the canon of other games. It's like pretty interesting.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be interesting, but
it all depends on how they implement the online, and Capcom hasn't always been very good at that. Most notably the online Resident Evil games, where you couldn't talk to any of the other people who were playing.
This isn't being made by Capcom. This is being made by the SOCOM people, so it's going to play more like a SOCOM game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm interested.
Yeah, that was like the big thing. Was like, this is a Resident Evil game not being made by Capcom.
That's sad, when the biggest selling point for your game is that it's not being made by you.
Well, it wasn't the biggest selling point. It was just a big thing. It was just like,
biggest
oh
selling
shit,
point for me.
Oh shit, it's a game not being made by the creators. That's like Sega making a Mario game. It's like, oh shit, what?
That would be weird.
And nobody ever makes a Mario game that isn't Nintendo, unless it's one of the spin-off ones, like Mario Tennis on the Game Boy, which was fucking great. It's like, turned it into an RPG tennis game. Hell yeah.
Wonder what that would be like if someone actually did do that.
We need a Mario Windjammers game. Yeah.
Oh man, that would be great.
I'm gonna be Toad all day.
Oh yeah. Okay. There's the SOPA thing, the big SOPA victory apparently, because everybody was talking about like, oh, we won because they're putting the bill on the shelf. I'm like, but it's not gone. Yeah, but they said they're not gonna do anything with it for a really long time, so it's not gone. Well,
There's
no, but I mean
also
they're not doing.
they also just brought down Mega Upload.
Yeah, but I mean they were to do that without the SOPA bill.
That's that's my point. It doesn't matter.
Mega upload Wilbo Memorial Cast.
Memorial Wilbo cast.
We didn't mention that at all.
I don't know. I can't believe they've imprisoned the guy. It's not like I don't really understand why. All he did was create an uploading service. It's not like he actually put up all that content. I don't understand why he was arrested.
I mean, did they even tell him to bring anything down, or
I don't know. I just know they shut it down and then they arrested him and several other people that worked with him. It's like, well, wait, they aren't responsible for what people upload. They're responsible for taking it down, and they do take it down. They just, I'm sure that
he was
basically everything.
extradited to the U.S., right?
I don't know.
So if it does go to the Supreme Court, then they could possibly create a precedent for this type of thing not being okay, or just that it is okay and that they can't make laws against it. So depending, that's one of the nice things, at least about when someone actually does go to trial, is that you do sometimes get a definitive answer on this sort of thing, like the Supreme Court ruling on games. Whereas if you go about the legislation, they'll just draft more legislation, like they're doing now.
Yeah, I'm just annoyed that everyone is praising and cheering that, oh yeah, we won because they're postponing the bill again.
Well, the internet isn't well suited for politics. They don't understand that.
But I mean, even like the news websites like Kotaku and stuff like, oh yeah, we won, SOPA's dead, and it's like, no, it's not. They
Maybe
just
could
even when they say it themselves, they say, well,
They're
the guy that
Kotaku.
made the bill said that he's gonna
Kotaku
put it
is
on the
going to
shelf.
say.
They're Kotaku. They don't.
Kotaku's an example. They're not the
Kotaku,
only
we're the most smart.
they're not the only people that have been saying this. Everybody's been saying this. I'm just using Kotaku as an example.
I didn't say it.
I also love the little post they did before about not boycotting or like taking their site down because they're
Oh
acting like
yeah. That was fucking bullshit. Like, oh yeah, they brought it up. They didn't even have to say shit. They could have just not even mentioned it, and then the day that everyone else went on strike, they could have been just like, "Oh, we're not gonna do it because news."
like all this time if you try and bring up any type of standards or anything to them, it's like, oh, we're just an entertainment site. We're not journalists or anything. That's crazy.
Yeah, it
And
was.
then once it actually comes to a moment where they might have to, give up some ad dollars or something, oh, they're journalists. It would be completely unethical for them to go down.
It was. It was annoying because they were like, they said that they were gonna do it. They said they were gonna do it, and then when they tried to weasel their way out of it earlier because they were like, well, apparently they're postponing the date for talking about the bill, so it's not actually going to happen on the day that the boycott's supposed to happen. So we don't know if people are going to boycott still or not. And then the day of the boycott, they're like, well, yeah, we decided that journalism and news is more important, so we're not going to boycott. We're not going to shut our site down. Like that would make such a big statement if you did fucking
And did
shut
you see
your
the whole thing where they have Kotaku Core and like the whole announcement is like a passive aggressive thing about, oh, we don't understand why anyone would want this. I guess if you don't care about game culture or whatever and you're a big jerk ass, then maybe you'll like this.
what?
Okay, well, Kotaku released another site called Kotaku Core, which strips out all the bullshit about Japan.
I see.
and their whole announcement for it is basically Stephen Totio going like, we made this site, we don't understand why anyone would want it. I guess if you're an idiot and don't care about game culture and just want to learn about what games were released, then I guess you could read it. Completely missing the point that nobody had a problem with like actual news about games. If it,
Well, I mean, if you want, it's like saying, oh, well, if you don't care that Keiji Inafune bumped his knee the other day, then you can go to this website because we think that's news.
That's game culture. It's culture about games.
But who gives a shit anyway? Like, even the culture, why would they give a fuck? Like, oh,
Hideo Kojima ate a salad.
Miyamoto stubbed his big toe the other day. He says he's okay, but we're holding out for him.
Well, I mean, like, even
his blanket doll when he was on a plane.
Like, the people that complain about that website, they don't complain about, if they have an article about game design or something like that. Nobody's complaining about that if it actually has to do with a game culture. But, non-news about someone stubbing their toe or somebody saying something about games, nobody cares about that. Especially when it's just non-news about Japan that has nothing to do with games. Like a post about fetishes in Japan, or whether the cherry blossoms have sprouted.
Have they sprouted?
Hey, that's a very important part of my year.
Or anything else Bashcraft has ever written.
Yeah.
Kotaku or a bunch of faggots cast.
Best podcast ever. Yeah, I guess we should wrap up the podcast now. Now that we've reached the end of the podcast, I think we need to discuss something.
Wilbo has AIDS.
Wilbo doesn't have AIDS, unfortunately, but
Unfortunately,
we tried to give him.
Man, if Wilbo had AIDS, that'd be sweet.
However, Wilbo is going to move. He's moving. He's going to move away.
Don't even say it like you're not going to make me die.
But I am not going to allow him to leave the podcast like that. Fuck that. You leave, you die.
Why don't you just take, like, other parts of me from, like, the other episodes of the podcast and just, like, have, like, various sound bites of me, just play them randomly during the episodes while I'm gone?
It's actually a great idea, Genki. We have to do that.
Like, Windjammers!
That's
right, Wilbo.
What do you think of that, Wilbo?
I'm joined by Wilbo.
That's what we'll do. We'll replace Wilbo
So,
with
Wilbo,
recordings
who are you,
of
like
dubstep.
I was playing Dead Resident 2 off the record. Again? Well, you love that game.
Now I'm going to kill you, Wilbo! You're going to die!
Can I be killed?
You can be killed.
I'm wearing, like...
Wilbo was the Highlander.
I'm wearing wizard armor.
So wait, I just have to cut his head off then.
I'm wearing wizard armor, which stops my head from being cut off. Like, you can take me down.
Yeah, we're gonna take you down right fucking now. Because what you didn't know was that I hired a group of assassins. And they all have Tommy guns. And if you turn around right now, you will see them in
a lot of those Tommy gun wielding assassins that you can just find in the yellow pages.
That sounds more like a hitman, like an assassin. You'd think like be silent, very subtle.
I don't really question their methods. They call themselves assassins, so...
I paid your hitmen to kill you!
Oh, they're not here, they're over there!
They're on their way back right now?
Damn it!
I am unkillable. I'm like Batman, I've got cannon armor, I can't be killed.
That's alright. I figured, I planned a backup plan just in case you managed to pay off my hitmen, so... I'm gonna blow you up.
Well, you're gonna blow up, man?
No, you're gonna blow up right now. Click.
Nope. Oh, I'm not blowing up. See? I guess I'm paying.
Is Wilbo really dead?
Will a podcast ever be the same without him? Is it true that Wilbo eats a bag of dicks every morning for breakfast? Find out the answers to these questions and more next time on Lagged Out Video Game Podcast C.
No, I'm not dead.